Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Foundation Week. It is day 6. We have been doing 7 straight days of nothing but foundation videos on all the new foundations that have just recently been released, and today's day 6. So I do want to let you guys know I will be having a wrap up. I will be ranking all 7 foundations. I'll be telling you kind of my final thoughts. I've been trying all the foundations over and over again and testing them with different products. Ever since I first filmed that first video, which has been a while. So I will have kind of set on opinions and telling you which ones I think are worth it, which one is my number 1, my number 7, why, and all that jazz. So you definitely want to be subscribed. You want to hit that notification bell so that you're notified of all my videos. You definitely don't want to miss out on that. Today we're talking about the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Finish Liquid Foundation. This has been all the buzz because the Vanish stick is a cult favorite. Now, in today's video, I'm not going to compare this one to the Vanish stick. I'm not going to tell you which one I would choose, this one or the Vanish stick. Wait for the wrap-up video. That's where I'm really going to compare the 2 foundations and tell you which one I would pick over the other one. So definitely you want to wait for that. But in this video, I'm just going to test it out like any other foundation, like I would any other foundation. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to be, and sorry, my voice is like basically lost. I've been sick for like a million years. I don't know what it's all about. But today I'm going to be testing this out with a sponge, with a brush. We're going to be wearing it all day long. I'm going to be bringing you guys in really close to my face, like all up in my business to see how the foundation looks. I'm going to be testing it against the flash, doing the flash test. I'm going to be seeing if it oxidizes. I'm going to see if it transfers. I'm going to swatch this next to other foundations that match me so we can look at the shade. I'm going to be putting it against my fine lines. I have lines and like emotion wrinkle lines. So we're going to be testing it and see if it sinks in there. So if you have mature skin, if you have a lot of fine lines, if you have smile lines, we can see if this would be a good foundation for you. I do have normal to dry skin, and I have a couple dry patches today. So we're going to be testing it against those as well. And we're going to be seeing what Hourglass says the foundation is supposed to do. And we're going to see if it actually does what it's supposed to do, which I think is very, very, very important. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the like. If you missed out on Concealer Week, I'll put a link up here in an iCard. I always forget which side. In an iCard, you can check out Concealer Week because I also did that as well. So let's get started. I'm not usually in a full face of makeup in the beginning of the video, but today's been crazy. Please excuse me. I filmed everything out of order, but it's okay. We're moving on. We're moving on. I mentioned that. We're moving on. So you can get this at Sephora or on the Hourglass website. Right now at Sephora, it retails for $56. You guys, this is expensive. This is pricey. This is more expensive than my Dior foundations that I love. So I'm going to be ruthless with this foundation because $56 for 0.8 ounces. Foundation usually has 1.0 fluid ounces, and stick foundations usually have 0.5 fluid ounces. The Vanish Hourglass is different, I guess, because their liquid foundation has 0.8 fluid ounces, and their stick only had 0.4, I think. It was less than 0.5 fluid ounces. So that's all I'm going to say about the stick. Just letting you guys know that Hourglass tends to not give us all of the product 10 times more expensive. So it retails for $56. There are only 32 shades, and this is what Sephora says. Very short, very sweet. It says, a highly concentrated liquid foundation designed to deliver instant full coverage with just a half a pump. Just a half a pump. No primer needed. It's supposed to be full coverage, and it's supposed to be natural finish. And it's only 3 stars out of 5 right now. Currently at Sephora, there's only 145 reviews, and it only has 3 stars. And I felt like it just came out like last week or something like that. I do want to say one thing. I got the shade Sand. I went and swatched them because I am golden natural in the stick, which is their olive shade, and it actually matches me really, really well. And their golden natural was too dark. So their foundation shades, if you are just wondering, they do not match the stick foundations, okay? They're darker, and I had to go with Sand, and I still think that Nude would have been my best bet. So if you match me, Nude or Sand, which is what I'm wearing right now, would be your best bet just so that you know. Nude seemed a little bit more yellow, and this one seems a little bit more like golden. Also, if you're trying to shade match, I put a list down below. You can check that out of foundations that match me. Also, there's a link down there of an even longer list, so you can definitely find what you're looking for and see if we are somewhat close to the same shade. Let's swatch this next to other foundations that match me. Let's check if it oxidizes, and then let's go to applying this onto the face. Okay, so here are the swatches on my hand. This one right here is the Vanish Liquid in Sand. This is an old swatch, so I'm gonna put a new fresh swatch here so you can see if it oxidizes. And yeah, it oxidizes a tiny bit, nothing too bad. Okay, here we have the Vanish Liquid Foundation in Sand. Here we have the Vanish Stick in Golden Natural, which is their olive shade. Here we have the Dior Skin Glow Foundation in 2WO, which is olive as well. Here we have the Too Faced Born This Way in Natural Beige. Here we have the Infallible Fresh Wear in Golden Beige. Here we have the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop in Medium Olive. And here we have the Fit Me Matte and Poreless in 220. So it's a little too golden. I definitely would have gone with Nude. Okay, so here we go. I had to get a shade lighter. This is Sand, because the olive shade that I usually am, which is Golden Natural, in the liquid form is way too dark. It definitely oxidizes and gets darker. Just so you guys know that. I'm gonna start by priming with the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer. And I definitely have like some dark spots. So yeah, I have this shade Sand, and hopefully this one fits me. I'm gonna do this side of the face with the LA Girl Sponge. I'm gonna do this side of the face with the Sigma F80. And they said 1 pump for your whole face. So I'm gonna do 1 pump. So this is 1 full pump, and I'm gonna try to make it work for the whole face. Here we go. Definitely not full coverage. The shade is like really orange. It's just odd. And I swatched this one and the one lightest to it, and the one lightest to it just looked too yellow. Like it just was, the pigment was too strong. I don't know if maybe it needs to be shook. Not a fan of the undertone. So there's one light layer. I say medium coverage. I have like this patch here, and it's like, looks horrific in that patch. It's like a dry patch slash scabby. It looks horrible there. Okay. I kind of liked, yeah, this oxidizes like a shade or two darker. It's looking orange. What in the world? The undertone is terrible. Ugh. I'm not feeling this one, and it sucks because I was really excited to try this one. And it's just like coming apart here on like my brows. Like it looks like it's almost balling up and graining. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Do you see how it just looks like it's just sitting on top of the skin? It looks terrible, and in between my eyes, I've never had a problem there before, like on my nose. Look at this little guy, like it won't even cover, it just like comes on top, comes off of that spot. But do you see how it like looks? Yeah, this looks horrible on the skin. It looks horrible, and I have to go to a doctor's appointment. I think I should have gone with one shade lighter than this. I need coverage, and I need you to look good because I got so much to do today. It's like it's sitting on top of the skin. It's definitely not sinking into the skin. Oh, but it's setting, so I might not need to set it. Okay, I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup and then I'll be back and show you guys really up close how my foundation looks. Okay, so scratch that. I'm gonna take this off. So Hourglass claims that you don't need a primer. So I'm gonna do exactly what it says, and you only need one pump for the entire face. So this obviously gets really cakey if you use a lot, and so I'm going to take this off and do it again and try to make it work really quickly before I have to leave to the doctors. Take my son. This is just turning into a horrific. So I'm just gonna put on only a moisturizer. This is the Drunk Elephant Proteiny Polypeptide Cream. I'm just gonna moisturize my face lightly and then spray it really quickly with this facial spray with aloe because my face is dry. I'm just gonna do one pump. Here we go. Okay, so here we go with the brush. And no primer this time. Okay. Yeah, it's sitting a lot nicer on my skin. I'm not gonna go over that. It's not full coverage. But here we go with the sponge. Yeah, I don't like it on the sponge side at all. It doesn't look smooth, it looks patchy. It's like it's getting picked up, like it's sticking to the sponge. I'm going to show you guys on my camera and then I'm going to go over it with a brush because I can't even gotta go to the doctor. So I'm going to show you guys how I started to apply it with a sponge. And it's just like picking up everything. And you can see it looks smoother now on this side. I mean, it still looks horrible there, but this side it's like, it just looks terrible. Like it's just picking up the product. So I'm just going to use this brush. Never had my sponge do that ever. You already know how terrible it looks. Okay, so this is one pump and I still have some in the back of my hand, so it's like one small layer of makeup. So I am going to finish the rest of my makeup and then I'll be back. Okay, so I finished all of my makeup, and the clip that I'm showing you though, I showed you how my makeup looked before I finished the eyes, just so you guys know, and the lips. But let's look at how the foundation looks now that all of my makeup is on. I think that it still looks a little tiny bit heavy, and I know that the foundation said, I thought it said a full pump, but it's actually half a pump for your whole face. And that definitely would have given me like a low medium coverage. So I don't know what they're saying about full coverage, but I can still see my bruises peeking through. It's clinging to my dry patch, to my scab here on the right side. And it just looks heavy, and it's such a thin formula. I'm not sure why it looks heavy. And it still is kind of coming apart a little bit around my forehead. So I mean, it doesn't look the best, and I'm definitely going to be cutthroat because this is an expensive foundation. So I'm not pleased at all, but we're going to see how it wears. I'll check in with you guys at the 5-hour mark. Okay, so I am in natural lighting, and I guess I'll show you guys. I don't know if you can really see a difference in like the color or not. Doesn't seem like it looks too bad in natural lighting, but you can see the sky, how terrible it looks. Okay, so it's been 5 hours. Let's look at how the foundation now looks. Excuse that my little baby son is right here. Let's talk about how it looks. So it's definitely rubbed off around my nose. and a little bit around my jawline, so I don't think it's transfer proof. And you can just see the foundation, even though it looks smooth, you can see it sitting on top of the skin. And for such a thin formula, it surprises me that it looks so heavy on top of the skin. It's not sinking into my fine lines. It's not sinking into any of my like emotion lines, but it still looks dry around my dry patches and cakey. And on my forehead, it's just sitting on top of my forehead. It's also rubbed off on my nose, and I can see it breaking apart around my nose. And I'm not oily or anything like that, so I think if you're oily, it will really break apart on your T-zone really bad, because yeah, this is nothing. And I mean, my skin, I have no oils and it's still breaking apart. So I don't know, this is kind of something that, and it just, yeah, it just looks really makeup-y on top of the skin. So that's all I'm gonna say for now. I'll do my final check-in at the end of the night, and I'll really talk to you guys about what I think as far as transferring and all that kind of stuff. I'll really have more thoughts then. I don't think it has a flashback. It doesn't have a flashback at all that I noticed. And it looks like it's good there. So I'll check back at the end of the night and we'll keep on talking then. Okay, so it's the end of the night. It's been like 10.5 hours. I thought I would check in, would see how the foundation's looking. It hasn't transferred as much as I thought it was gonna transfer. I thought it was gonna be like a mess of just transferness all over, but it hasn't. It's actually held up really well. It still looks thick and like heavy and like cakey on my dry spots, but it hasn't sunk into my fine lines. It's kept the rest of my face looking smooth. I think if you just have dry patches, this is not going to be the foundation for you, but it looks nice. It's looked nice all throughout the day. I think that it works better with a brush because the sponge was a whole nother mess, but I don't know, it's kind of like a medium. I'm not super impressed. I'd have to try it with other primers. And it's expensive. It's super expensive, you guys. Those are kind of my thoughts. I don't think it's necessarily worth it. I think it's really expensive and it doesn't wow me. It doesn't amaze me. It's not like wowzers. It's so good. So because of that, and because you have to literally use the smallest amount, and it won't, like for me, it won't give me full coverage because I have a lot of dark spots. For someone else that doesn't, it will probably be full coverage, but for me, I can still see the shadows and the darkness, and I mean, you guys can see that. I think that because it's difficult to use, because you have to use such a light amount so that it doesn't look cakey, it's hard. No one's gonna be that careful. They just wanna put a couple pumps and just start going to town. And for it, you know, for you to have to be conscious about, okay, this teeniest, tiniest amount. For some people it might be easy. For me, it's difficult. So for me, it's not worth it. I don't know. It's kind of like a medium foundation. I'm not really impressed, you guys. So those are kind of like my final thoughts. You guys saw throughout the day how it worked. I mean, it's lasted. It still has a lot of coverage. And it's been 10.5 hours, and I haven't been super careful with it or anything like that. It did come off a little bit on my chin, but I was picking at my chin. So those are kind of my thoughts right now. That's kind of what I think about it. Like I said before, stay tuned to the video where I rank all the foundations, and I'll kind of compare it to the stick foundation. If you've tried the stick, let me know what you think down below. If you tried this one, let me know what you think down below. And let me know your thoughts, kind of what you personally think. But I guess that's it, you guys. Don't forget to come back tomorrow for the last day of foundation week. And you guys are amazing. I love you. Thank you so much for all your sweet comments and for enjoying the week with me. You guys are so awesome. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.